Hey guys, Engineer Wannabe here, and we are going to be doing a review on this Longines Hydroconquest 39mm. Now this is the model before the refresh with the ceramic bezel, but this is still usually available at most authorized dealers, and it will be at a fair bit lesser price than the ceramic bezel variant. But this still has that newer movement that beats at a 25,000-ish beats per hour. As you can see, it's not as smooth as the usual 28,800 bph movement, but this comes with a 60 hour power reserve, I believe. So definitely more more collector friendly, but less user friendly, I suppose. Overall, you might get a bit more longevity out of the movement because of its lower beat rate and less friction and so on and so forth. But let's move on to the review. So let's go ahead and take a look at the case. And it is already smudged up, but we have a fairly thin case here. It's remarkably thin for its 300 meter water resistance rating. It's actually very thin, polished on the sides and brushed on top, and you have this distinctive crown guards that are sharp and angular, and a fairly small crown overall for this watch. The bracelet here is 19 millimeter bracelet for the 39 millimeter model. It does not taper at all, so that could be a consideration for you, but it is a comfortable bracelet nonetheless. It has a nice milled clasp with a press fit or friction fit deployant and flip lock security, and it's very difficult to open. It also has a diver's extension over here. Again, very difficult to get out. You basically have to yank on it as hard as you can. Unfortunately, this part is stamped. Very thin sheet metal, and definitely not very secure feeling, but should be fine. On the front here you have a 120 click bezel. It is has a very nice action, very loud, very crisp feeling. Unfortunately though, they have not carried out this coin edge throughout the bezel. At the 60 and 30 they are smooth, and so when you'd be trying to set your bezel, and you'd lose grip suddenly. It's just not the most user-friendly, not the most pleasant to lose that grip, especially if your hands are a little sweaty or wet or something. You'd be getting a good grip, and suddenly you'd lose all that grip. So it's something you get used to over time, but it is annoying nonetheless. On the back, you don't have a see-through case back, but you have a very nice embossed logo here. Everything is of very high quality. It's bead blasted in the middle, and it's brushed on the outside. Very nicely done, very high quality there. The movement, of course, you have a screw down crown here. It's a little difficult to operate, but you get the hang of it after a while. It's very hard to feel this movement when you're winding it. It's very unusual. You barely feel like you're doing anything, and you do wind it when you're doing it. It's not like the gears aren't meshing or anything. It's just you don't feel anything. And everything else though is very nice. The date clicks over very securely. You feel it as you operate the quick set date. You have stop seconds as well, and all the usual things you would expect in a modern watch. Now, one thing I am not a fan of are the hands here. They are high polished, and as you can tell, in some lights the hands completely disappear, and it can be very challenging to tell the time. You'd have to move your wrist around and try to get the light like that, and then, oh, okay, you can tell what time it is. But overall, this is not ideal. The loom also is very weak. It's not not even passable as a dive watch loom, which is really disappointing. The loom is so weak that it will not last you the night through. At least in this model, I've had some pretty unsatisfactory time with the loom. The date is not color matched to the dial, which is disappointing. It's a white date wheel, and it doesn't have a applied frame. It's just a printed frame around there, a printed square or rectangle, which is okay. The dial itself is very nice. It's a sunburst black dial, very beautifully done, very intricate, and of course the Arabic numerals are very nice as well. The 6, 9, and 12, very nicely done. They are loomed as well. It's just disappointing that the loom isn't very strong. So overall, this is a very good watch. It's a very usable watch. With some modification for me, after brushing out the bracelet, it was even more desirable to me, especially. Some things I would change would be the hands, give them a different finish to it so that it's more visible, and of course the diverse extension, I would have preferred that to be milled out as well, or at least the sheet metal used to stamp it, that it would have been a bit thicker. It would have been nice, but overall it's great. It runs great. This particular model is running at around plus 3 seconds a day, which is very good for the price range, and it's been doing so reliably, and that 60-hour power reserve is always welcome as well. So this has been a quick review of the Longines Hydroconquest 39mm. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you take care, and hope you have a good night. Alright, bye.